What is up? Happy FOMC day. Dow is down 496, Nasdaq down 149, S&P down 46, VIX up 5% at 23.53. Did have the PPI numbers this morning, pre-market producer price index. It was a hot number, worse than expected, and not good for markets. So markets are down, waiting the interest rate decision, which is supposed to be no change. So we will see what will happen. But I don't remember last time they had. I don't ever remember PPI being on FOMC day. I mean, it's been the same week. I just don't ever recall it being on the same day. Which it's another piece of data that moves the markets. So very nice green this morning, worked just like it's supposed to. Hit profit target in 6 minutes. It's just the green's been a little up and down the last few times, but definitely nice today. If you look at, put SPX up here. You look at this, it didn't have much movement at all and hit profit target before this drop happened. Thank goodness. Also got Lululemon. Let's take a look at that from my earnings play. So sitting right at the break even, but it's up a little bit. It's currently up 52%. So, man, I hope it doesn't. I hope, the markets don't crash here when we don't get a rate increase or a rate decrease. But we got until Friday. If it gets up 100% or something, I'll probably just close it. I'll take any wins on earning trades I can get. So, but so far so good on Lulu earnings trade. So we're a couple minutes away, about a minute away from activating the bot for the FOMC Iron Condor. I'm going to do about medium size. I've done anywhere between 4 and 10 contracts. I got a $4 stop. So some people don't like having a stop on it, and 10 winners out of my last 10 trades going back through my bot results. So this one is, I don't want to jinx it, but it's been pretty good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and launch my bot here, as we're coming up on 5 minutes till the announcement of the decision. So I'm launching it now. No fill yet. There we go. Fill to 665. Pretty centered there. So there we go. There's the FOMC Iron Condor. So we'll exit it by Jerome Powell starts speaking at 1:30 Central. So be exiting it. I think it's 25 after. So, one thing you can do too, if you do multiple contracts, is you can get out of half at 20% or whatever you want to do. Yeah, definitely want to be out by 125. So, in terms of stocks, AMD up 2.7%. Oh, MU has earnings after the bell, I believe. Yes, it does. Man, should I do an earnings trade in MU? I'll decide on that later. I don't have to have that in until the end of the day. Two and a half minutes until the announcement, and then we hope to see some really good theta decay. Let's see, what do we get here? 85 wide iron condor. I love trading FOMC day because the Crean and the FOMC iron condor have been two really reliable trades. And you can put the Crean on, and like I was done in 6 minutes and hit profit target, and got some work done around the house. Ran a couple errands. You don't have to sit in front of it. It's a day where I usually make good profits, and I don't have to sit in front of my computer all day long. Matrix, typically, do you have to wait? Yeah, I mean, because I don't. Profit target is set at like 80%, so it usually doesn't hit profit target. I try to squeeze as much out between now and 125, 120 right in there. Kind of depends on what price is doing. But typically it's, like I said, I went back and looked at my bot, 10 trades, 10 winners. One minute to go. I think this is Jerome Powell's last FOMC too. Yeah, I don't do an OCO order. I just on the bot there's a little arrow button that you can close it. Like the bot has that little yellow arrow that says reduce trade size. So you can just, put that in. Pretty sure the bot closes the entire iron condor. All right, so I guess it's time. Rates are unchanged. You can kind of see, okay, we've got some real good theta decay in already. Federal Reserve, one rate cut this year. So currently up 18%. Again, you can see the iron condor here with that awesome theta decay. Up 27%. Beautiful. I think I probably will close half here at 30%. I mean, might as well not be greedy. I mean, it's still sitting dead center, though. You never know, though. Things can change in a hurry. Up 32%. I'm going to go ahead and reduce by in half. I'm going to get out of half. 34%. Okay, yep, there. So matrix, you can see here I got out of half my contracts. So it closed even the longs. The bot did. But look at that beauty. Just dead center. Yeah, it sure is. Here, let me go through the last 10. Let's see. Strategy performance. I'll just read them off. Okay. Okay, so I mean, not counting today, but let's see. So here's my profits from this trade. The last 10 times I've placed it. Plus 1,734. Plus 465. Plus 788. Plus 4,268. I must have just let that cook. Plus 1,365. Plus 1,900. Plus 2,130. Plus 2,201. 640. That's it. So, I mean, those are some stellar results. I mean, yeah, what I've noticed sometimes is like you get to a point where it's like, we got 20 minutes left before we can get out, but sometimes like you'll be sitting there looking at your bot performance and like right now mine's at 36%. Well, if it for the next 10 minutes or so, if it sits here at 36% and isn't giving me much profit, then I might just close it even before 25. You kind of just monitor the theta decay. It's like, okay, theta decay has kind of stopped. So up 37%. Not much movement. Nice matrix. So did you get out of half yet, or are you just letting it ride? I mean, the markets. All right, so as long as you got a nice profit, I'm up to 38%. Does this only happen on FOMC? What are you talking about there, Matrix? Like this FOMC Iron Condor? Um, I mean this trade this trade right here is back tested on FOMC days. So it's this one right this trade here with this bot. And again, you don't have to use a bot. You can enter it manually. It's just an Iron Condor. But yeah, it's just the back test is just from an FOMC day. Trying to think if there's other. God, the older I get, my memory just sucks. But trying to think if there's other trades throughout the year that have like a vol crush like this does. I mean, there might be. My memory's terrible. I'm at the stage in life where when I'm trying to think of something, I can't remember it, and then like a day later, I'll be like, it'll just pop in my brain out of nowhere. Oh yeah, I needed to know that yesterday. Up to 39%. This this I love this day because I was the cream was a 6-minute trade, and this one's like a 30 minutes tops, maybe less. So, in terms of how much you make based off how much time you're spending trading, is you're making good money, very little time in front of the computer. No, price can move. It's just not moved much today. Yeah, I mean, price can move for sure. It's just not moving much today for some reason, which is nice. But yeah, you want to exit by 25 because Jerome takes the stage, and then the mark. When Jerome starts talking, that's when we'll start seeing even bigger moves. Dow currently down 455, Nasdaq down 147, S&P down 43. Man, everything that's going on, it doesn't bode well for the markets here. But a lot of times when my prediction is the markets will, when Jerome starts talking, we'll with the bad PPI number this morning, we'll see a down move. But it seems like every time what I think is going to happen doesn't. So we may get a rip up. Who knows? Up 41%. A little bit of down move coming in. Yeah, look at that umbrella, though. I mean, it could move 20 points and still be in the profits. Yeah, the PPI number today was from February, which was pre-Iran strikes, pre-oil going up. So it's going to be interesting to see what the numbers on PPI and CPI next month are as they report on the March numbers, because now that we've had oil increasing, we may get some bad numbers next month as well. But as always, hold your long-term stuff. And just it'll end up coming back if we do get some big moves down. Always does. Netflix and Nvidia are green. CoreWeave, AMD, Baidu, Circle, ARM, MU, CrowdStrike. MU. Man, if I do an earnings trade, should we be bullish or bearish? I mean, that stock is just ripped up for so long. I don't know. Up 42.5%. So far, currently up 28.17 on my two FOMC trades today. So just under $3,000. I mean, you can't beat that. Wow. And I was even modest. I only did 6 contracts. Instead of, I think last time I did 10. I don't know. I was just not wanting to put that much risk on today for some reason. But yeah, price hasn't moved. Just that PPI number I think scared me a little bit, having it on the same day as FOMC. So I just did 6. Didn't want to press my luck too much. And it seems like when I go a little smaller, it's always a winner. Coming down a little bit now, so now it's down to only 33% profit. See, I mean, it can move. It can move, that's for sure. And that's why I closed half at 30%. See, after a while, it's like you'll start seeing yourself. You'll start seeing it like, okay, it's not getting any better. It's like it's currently back up to 40%. I saw it at 43%. So I'm going to continue to hold. We got a little bit longer left, 9 minutes, but I might get out a little earlier if price starts feeling like it's going to move. Back up to 42%. A little dip getting bought up. Matrix. So at 225 as Eastern, what happens that makes this trade not optimal? So Jerome comes on the mic at 1:30, and then you'll get big moves based on what he says. So you don't want to be in it when you get a 50-point move or whatever. Yeah, so I'm setting it 38%. It's come back down a little bit. So I haven't kind of not seeing much improvement now. So it's like how much more am I going to get out in this last 7 minutes? Price keeps coming down. It's going to keep going. It's going to go against me. So I may close a bit early because I'm just not seeing it. It's bad now. It's at 40%. Pull this over here. Yeah, so you can kind of see here. If this isn't improving, then there's just no reason for me to stay in the trade. I got 6 minutes left, but 40.4. The best I've seen is 43%. So you kind of take, you kind of decide whether you just want to go ahead and get out of it, or do you want to give it the final 5 minutes here? Yeah, I mean, if you're not getting much more, then there's no reason to keep it open. The last thing you want to do is lose profits in the last 5 minutes, but yeah, I'm not getting much better. It's just kind of sitting there right now. So that theta decay is kind of stopped. All right, see, mine's at 40%, and it's just not getting any better. So I'm just gonna go ahead and close the rest. Filled. Beautiful trade. 39.5% profit. All right, so yeah, pretty much done. I don't. Some people will do some day trading. I don't like to do much other than these two trades because I've tried it before and I've made some mistakes and it's like I'm good booking $2,705 on two trades today, just under $3,000 in about 25 minutes of trading. I booked a little under $3,000. Can't beat that. I'll stay on here a little bit here, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the market does here when Jerome comes on. Dow currently down 500, but I don't foresee myself doing another trade. Um, MU. I mean, MU is pretty much at all time highs. So it's like I don't even know if I want to do an earnings play on MU. It's just under all time highs. Yeah, I just don't know. I just don't. Not overly thrilled about. But yeah, risk a couple $100. Just those are just fun plays anyway. We'll see. I'll probably put something on at the end of the day. Post it. It's Lulu. Lulu's still going up. I need Lulu to be above 167. One minute to go. So if you haven't exited, I would exit. Price coming down to lows of day. Little bit worried here. We might see some down moves with. Yep, so you would want to be out of your trade now. Drum comes on in 4 minutes. A little bit of a bounce coming in. We going up or are we going down? What's everyone think? We're already down 500. Yeah, I think down. So, like I said, it's usually opposite of what I think. I'm just really not sure what. I mean, the market knows and was expecting that there was not going to be a rate decrease, a rate cut. So, I guess we'll see if the PPI has something to do with price movement, or the move down throughout the day could have been a result of the PPI, and now we go up after we hear that there's no rate change, and that's what the market expected. You got dip buyers. Who knows? Less than a minute until Jay Powell takes the stage, I think, for the last time. All right. Purple tie as usual. Not much of a move yet. There really hasn't been. I mean, this is pretty muted price movement for an FOMC day so far. Lululemon's still moving up for us. That's good. Down 520. Price right at lows of day for the Dow or for the S&P. Oil currently at $95. Price moving down now through lows. Getting a little movement now. S&P down 57. NASDAQ down 200. Powell taking questions now.
First, let me say we're well aware of the performance of inflation over the last few years and how a series of shocks have interrupted progress that we've made over time. And that happened most recently with tariffs, and now there will be some effects on inflation coming forward. The thing that's really important that we see this year is progress on inflation through a reduction in goods inflation as
NVIDIA has gone into the red. It's trying to get back to green, though. Bouncing a little bit. So getting now a little bounce back up.
It's about 3%, and some big chunk of that, between a half and three quarters, is actually tariffs. So we're looking for progress on that. The question of whether we look through the energy inflation doesn't really arise until we have kind of checked that box. It, of course, is kind of standard learning that you look through energy shocks, but that's always been dependent on inflation expectations remaining well anchored. And I think now it's also dependent on what you mentioned, which is that broader context of 5 years now of inflation above target. We have to keep all of those things in mind. And the question of looking through when it does arise will be one to approach not lightly, but in the context that you mentioned.
And just on the S&P, can you help us make sense of why there is still a bias to cut from most officials this year, despite the upward revision to headline and core inflation and the
Lululemon's still going up. You can see inside the break even now. That's good. So I'll probably let that go another day. See what it is tomorrow. Hopefully we get a move up, continue to move up by it. Not a whole lot of movement yet. Could be a big nothing burger today. I mean, we did have a lot of pre-market movement.
The rate forecast is conditional on the performance of the economy. So if you don't see that progress, then you won't see the rate cut.
Thank you, Howard Schneider. Just to follow up a little bit and to be clear, is the higher inflation's penciled in here for 2026 solely the result of the oil shock or something else?
So that's going to be part of it. But, that wouldn't be most of core, right? So the oil shock for sure shows up here. Some of that will be in core as well. Yes, but no, there's also just the feeling that we haven't seen, the progress that we hoped for on core goods and on tariffs and on the rest of it. So for whatever reason, people did write up their inflation forecast. That will certainly be tied to events in the Middle East and the price of oil, but it's also, I think, a reflection of the slow progress we've seen on tariffs, which we believe we will see. It's just a question of how long it takes for them to get all the way through the economy, and it just takes some time.
Getting a little bit of down movement now. S&P touching lows.
Portion of this will pass through, or more out of concern that there is a potential blow to consumption and growth coming in the form of wealth effects with the stock market down, in the form of gas prices diverting spending from other parts of the economy.
So I didn't get the second part of it.
25-point expected move still, according to. That's what the expected move is for the rest of the day still.
you want to be sure you're positioned in case growth starts to slow.
So the thing I really want to emphasize is that nobody
Dow down over 600 now. See, for the rest of the week, in terms of, news scheduled, let's see, tomorrow, initial jobless claims, pre-market, new home sales, top of the hour, tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 Central, and then nothing on Friday. So I got something pre-market tomorrow, and that's it. I guess then we have home sales, 9 o'clock Central. Ryan, I drove through the big town of Seneca on Saturday. Stopped at the Casey's there.
And inflation, the overshoot is mainly from the goods and tariffs. And, the labor market is, the unemployment rate, of course, is little changed since September. Very, very low break-even rate, apparently.
Got some stocks that are holding up. Netflix been holding well.
It's just we don't know what the effects of this will be, and really no one does.
Mr. In the past, the stock has suggested that.
See what MU is doing here. MU going up to highs of day. Man. Got to be bullish on it, even though it's close to all-time highs.
So, sorry, your question was what the stock is all about, and has it yeah. So there'd be an offset. So that's true. We have
Wow, 33-point expected move for MU. That would put it over 500 if it's bullish.
They're waiting for oil to go over $70 a barrel, and then they're going to start drilling whatever. They're going to make a reasoned, careful judgment that we're going to have higher oil prices for an extended period, but meaningfully higher. So I wouldn't say there's much of that happening. Not much will be happening now, but some of that could happen over time if you see that. But so the net of the oil shock will still.
Let's take a look at an earnings trade in MU.
And upward pressure on inflation, of course.
And if I could just follow up on Colby's question, how much do you worry that having looked through tariff inflation and tariff inflation running above target and looking through the oil price shock would undermine the credibility of the
We have to do our analysis and think these things through carefully. But of course, that's on everyone's mind. We're well aware of the history, but you don't want to overreact to that. You want to make the best judgment you can based on the facts. I don't think we're going to let it color our decision making more than is appropriate. It's more the thought that it's been 5 years, and we've actually had we had the tariff shock, we had the pandemic, and now we have an energy shock of some size and duration. We don't know what that's going to be actually. And it's one of those things where it's a repeated set of things, and you worry that that's the kind of thing that can cause trouble for inflation. And so we worry a lot about that, and we are very strongly committed to doing what it takes to keep inflation expectations anchored at 2%. And I think it's important that we do that. Very important.
Nick Timmeros, Wall Street Journal. Chopel, you've described monetary policy as modestly restrictive. If the unemployment rate is roughly stable, inflation moving sideways in the high twos, with an ongoing overshoot in services, not just goods, and the economy very well.
Oh yeah, just saying. I drove through your town of Seneca Saturday on the way to our farm. Did some work on the farm Saturday. Loaded up about 6-7 trail cameras. Getting ready for turkey season. Stopped at the Casey's. Got cheaper gas there than here in the Kansas City area.
When tariffs are put into place, of course, what they do is they raise prices to some extent, to the extent those prices are the tariffs are paid by consumers on a one-time basis. And we're waiting for that process. It takes 8, 9, 10, 11 months, a year to go through the system. And we're waiting for the tariffs, which were put in place over the course of the middle part and later last year. We're waiting for that to go through the system so that goods inflation will return closer to what it's always been. It used to be for many years.
Is it? I was just glad to see it under $3.
Zero, and it's running like 2% now. So, and so that's kind of goods inflation is running at 2%. So that's not coming from standard Phillips curve restrictive, restrictive policy. It's coming from the runoff of a one-time thing. We also think it's important, though.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and see, what is MU doing?
Downside risk in the labor market. We are balancing these two goals in a situation where the risks to the labor market are to the downside, which would call for lower rates, and the risks to inflation.
Hasn't done much. I'm going to go ahead and get an earnings trade here. Bullish for MU. All right. Filled on that.
Because there's some people who think that it hasn't come down very much, if at all, over the past year. If wage growth has come
Let me get that posted.
Why has non-housing services inflation maybe been slower?
That's a good question. It's frustrating. Labor non-housing services have basically moved sideways for years at the same level. We do expect that they will come down, but it's a bunch of idiosyncratic things. But at the same time, that is one of the things we should be seeing. As to your point,
there we go. Got that posted.
But we're not seeing progress there. So we do, what we expect for next year is continued. What we want to see for this year, rather, is continued progress on housing services. Finally seeing that goods inflation come back down because the one-time effects of tariffs are through, and that also gets some help from non-housing services. That's what we'd like to see. But it's a good question why we didn't see much of that last year.
Thanks, Chopel. Evan Lawrence with Fox Business. So in December, we saw employment numbers revised down to negative 17,000. January revised down. February posted a loss of 92,000. Is the employment side a far greater risk than the inflation side? Inflation, CPI is supposed to be percent. PCE has ticked down overall.
It's really, I wouldn't say that that's clear at all, that one is more at risk than the other. So you can point to the unemployment rate being stable, and in a world where both supply and demand for workers have come down very, very sharply over the course of the past year due to immigration policy largely. A ratio is going to be a better thing to look at than job creation, for example. So
price coming right down to lows of day.
Inflation, you can. We're at 3.
That's kind of what I thought. I think that PPI that just was just another feather in the cap of things that aren't going so good nowadays. See you later, Ryan. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and jump off too. Not really going to do any more trades. Price coming down through lows. So I'm going to call her a day. I guess maybe I'll try Mahomes at the end of the day. So yeah, I will try Mahomes. See what that looks like. I'm not sure if I'll get filled or not, but take a look at it. Everybody have a great day. Talk to you later. Have a good one.